out here. I got a billet welded up. It's in the fire. Figured I'd go live and hang out, see if some people pop in here. Try to set the camera up where you can see the press, because that's where I'm going to be doing most of the forging at. But yeah. So, scooch in there. That'll work. So, it's coming up with temperature now. It's been in there for about 5 minutes. Been rotating it. Got a little bit of flux on it because the cable that's on the outside of it isn't perfect. It's cleaned up and stuff, and it's hopefully it'll come out with a nice weld. The pattern will look pretty cool because it's 2 pieces of cable stacked with a sandmine core and 2 pieces of cable stacked on the other side. So it's like a 4-way with a core. So we'll see. So where you can kind of see. Really not a good way to do this. But yeah. I'm gonna take it out, and I'm not gonna do a forge weld. I'm just gonna kind of compress everything together and close up the gaps right now, because it's not perfect. I don't have a mill, so everything is kind of ground as flat as I can possibly get it. So we're gonna take a quick mush it together pass, and then flux it really good, and go back into forge. I don't really like using flux. I haven't used flux in a long time, but when I do stuff like this that I know isn't perfect and it's not a nice neat stack and everything is, you know, cut to fit, it's safe to use flux. So with it being a 4-way, so we'll let that soak. I don't know if you guys seen it. I took a little bit. It was actually pretty much at a forge welding temperature. I did a nice press and got everything squared up. So the next pass, I'll do probably 2 heats with it actually going the way that the billet's going to go, and then I'll re-square it to make sure that those 2 stacked cable pieces are welded. And I'll kind of keep doing that and keep doing that, but I don't want my billet to get too narrow and long. I really want to try to get about 1.5 inch wide piece out of this, so that's what we're going to try to do. I touched the billet with my knuckle, so that was nice and warm. So yeah, forge is back there doing its thing. So I guess while I got a couple people in here, I'm going to do the drawing for the giveaway here soon. I haven't forgot about it. I haven't abandoned it. So for those of you that don't know, I'm doing a giveaway. If you win the giveaway, we'll do either, if you want the billet, if you're a knife maker, it's canister Damascus of a bunch of random offcuts of Damascus. They call it fossil. Or if you want a knife, I'll make a knife. So that's pretty simple what it's going to be. Just be subscribed to the channel, and I'm going to do a giveaway probably here next week sometime. I got a couple things I'm working on and finishing up, and once that's done to where I could make the knife, then we'll do the actual giveaway. But I'll take a heat real quick and do some mushing. Give it 1 or 2 more seconds, and then I'm gonna take a heat. It was not looking good on that one side, so I rolled it. So hopefully this works, because the pattern should be pretty cool. So, you know, hopefully it works out nice. Yeah, I stuck my knuckle to that billet, and it was about 1,000 degrees, so that's gonna hurt tomorrow. Alright, so here we go. Oh, goodness. It is hot. Hey, it is what it is. I love the Gator haters, man. Go Gators. I'll see y'all this year. You don't have your Nick Saban anymore. Nick Saban sold his soul to the devil, I swear to God. He's gone, and Alabama was looking a little struggleish last year, so good luck with that. So, but, you know, everybody loves to hate on Florida, except for, you know, for the past like 3 years straight, they've had the hardest schedule, like, in college football. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, Jay, you know better than that. God. Come on now. Yeah, y'all barely beat Florida. Barely. I'm gonna cry. Barely. You almost got beat by like one of the worst Florida teams I've seen since I was in high school. Yeah, you're not gonna do so hot this year. From what I say, I'm just talking shit. I've seen a lot of really good recruiting stuff from Florida this year, so hopefully I can actually watch football this year without being mad the entire year. So fingers crossed. But yeah. Did you? Yeah. Good deal. I mean, like, I don't hate Georgia, unless we're playing Georgia, obviously, but, like, I don't like the Florida State fans. Like, they talk so much crap, and then when they don't do good, there's always excuses, and it's just, I hate Florida State fans. But they're literally a bunch of grown, like, crybabies. All they do is pout. Oh, we had this, and we had this, and man, you lost. Get over it, you know? Or lucky you don't have to play them. We'll roll this billet and take one more heat. That knuckle's starting to get tender. So yeah, what are y'all up to on this fine evening? All one of y'all. There was like 20 people in here for like 3 seconds. I took a heat and then everybody disappeared, which is fine, because usually when I do late night live streams, it's a bunch of like goofy people in here asking all kind of crazy ass questions. So have absolutely nothing to do with anything that's going on. But yeah, I don't know. My family is Florida State fans too, and I love it every year when they play. Even if Florida loses, I'm still there talking cash money crap. You know, as you're supposed to. It's a rivalry game. You're supposed to talk crap, I guess. But take y'all over there. What's up, Ted? Look at this. Hot mamma jamma right there. Everybody asked about my forge. I have a giant ribbon burner. Way overkill, but hey, it works. Got the old Turbski on there doing her thing with the permanent duct tape temporary fix. So hopefully this billet works out. It's going to be a really cool pattern, I think. So here, I'll set you up. What's up, Ted? anybody else have the problem with your welding glove running away as soon as you set it down? It's never where I left it. Welding gloves, tape measures, and your pencil. I swear they run away. But yeah, this is, I don't know if you was in here earlier. Ted, I got a cool pattern for you. So I'm gonna look for my pencil. So basic cross section of the knife is I have two. I did a cable yesterday, and I've got, so basically the cross section, check these third grade drawings out. Cross section is basically this. I got two pieces of cable stacked on either side of a sand my billet. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Ted knows what's up. Yeah, I mushed it on the 4-way, and it seems to be welding fine as far as the billet's going to be. So I'm going to turn it up and do one more just to make sure those cables are stuck together. But hopefully it works, because I haven't had a successful cable weld since like last year. I had this huge piece of cable, and I welded the ends of it, pulled it apart, I fluxed the crap out of it, beat it on the anvil, cleaned it out, and I did like 5 or 6 of those before I went to the vise and started twisting on it. And that was the last successful one I had, and I think the reason I had the most success with it is because of how big the cable was. It was like a 2-inch cable, and with cable, you know, if you start with a 1-inch cable, after you're done twisting it and getting it nice and tight, before you even start hammering it, you're only going to have something about the size of like a roll of dimes. So it's really not like a 1/4 of an inch, maybe. It's really not a lot of material there, you think. So like when you start out with a piece of cable that's, you know, 1.5 inches, you're really only going to get a billet that's like maybe 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch tops after you twist it. So I try to avoid wasting time on small cables, unless you're going to weld like 4 of them together and all that stuff. If you have square and dies or something like that, like that's the way to go. That really is the way to go. And I've seen people take them apart and put them in cans too. But with cable though, usually your cable isn't going to be good knife steel. I've done like 50 cable Damascus knives. 9 times out of 10, it's not. It will harden, but it's not a good knife steel. I usually do some sort of core, which is the go-to to add more materials. This is why I'm doing it here, because I don't have enough material to actually make a decent sized knife out of. So I added a 1/4 inch thick piece of 1084 with some 3/32, 15 and 20 on the outsides of that to add a little bit of thickness to it. So we'll see what happens. But old girl over there seems like she's hot. Scoot you around. Take another pass. Pissing off the neighbors. the light. But yeah, Ted, you got one of these, don't you? You have a Clark iron press, right? Are you in here still? TBW blades. Yeah. Yeah, you don't really have as much material as you think you would. I've been wanting to do a can with cable for the longest time. What's his name? He's JB Knife, JB Blade Works, whatever. He's a YouTube channel, kid with glasses, phenomenal knife maker. He did a can with copper powder, and I've been really throwing around the idea of taking a can and busting a cable apart and filling it up as tight as I can get it and filling it up with copper powder and doing it like that, because I think the copper in the cable would be a really cool pattern. Because what's his name, Eric Rivers from the Rivers Experience, he did a copper and cable kumai or whatever it's called a while back, and that was really cool. And I've never done anything with copper before. I've always been scared to bust the can open and squirt myself with hot metal, because I don't know if you've seen my forge, there's no turning it down. It's you know, it's ridiculous, which is great if you're doing a lot of Damascus or hammers or whatever. Like when I did my sword, it was amazing. I didn't have to take the back doors off or nothing. It was amazing. But I was gonna say, Ted, you have the drawing dies for yours, right? I think they come with drawing dies, right? I'm thinking about building some less aggressive drawing dies. So with these, they're amazing for drawing out material, but you got to be really, really careful, because this turns into a hot cut very quickly. This thing is ridiculously I'm not gonna say overpowered, but it's powerful. And I want to build some dies that are like, you know, basically the flat dies with the corners knocked off, a little bit of a rounding die, because these things right here, they work great for huge billets, but stuff that's this small, I'm really like hesitant on using these, because of if you oopsie little bit too long, you've pinched your material in half. So, but I think I'm gonna take one more pass just on the flat dies, and I'll probably go to this, I'll re-square it one more time so the edges are nice and even, and I'll go to the drawing dies, and I'll set the camera up to where like people can see, because these, like this thing, Clark says it's a 25-ton press, but I'm pretty sure it's closer to 40. This thing, I've used a 25-ton press. This thing is faster, and it squeezes way harder than the 25-ton that I used. I'm not gonna say what brand it was, but it wasn't Clark. So there's that. And this one's $5,000 cheaper. So if you want to buy a press, I'm not endorsed by the guy at all whatsoever, and he's probably hates my guts because I was on a time crunch when I bought this, so I bothered him like every week about getting it, and he was probably ready to just send me one so I'd leave him alone, because I think I text him like every other Friday for like 6 months straight about the press. So, but he's good people. He's a great dude. Sent me all kind of stickers, sent me a t-shirt, all kind of cool stuff. I don't care how much money you spend on something. If it got stickers with it, it's worth it. Yeah, exactly. Maybe split like a piece of 4-inch round or 3-inch round or something like that. I don't know if your dies are the same as mine with the 17-ton. I believe the frame and everything is the same. It's just the cylinder and everything is different on the 17-ton. We're gonna take a heat real quick. know she ready when she's smoking. But by far, my favorite thing about these presses is this right here. You can just, boop, that comes out, boop, that goes in. And I don't know if you know this or not, but it's actually science. If you make the sound effect, see, I didn't do the boop. It works. I'm telling you, just boop. It's science, bro. It's science. You can't argue with science. Yeah. My first couple of billets that I did with the drawing dies, I had to go under the hammer and make everything that thick. And I've learned with this thing, like, it's super. You got a lot of control. Like, it's really, really, really sensitive, which is good because you want control. The other press that I use, I'm not going to say the name of, it had about a half a second of delay from the time you let go of the handle to the time the actual die stopped moving, and on the way up it was the same. It had that brief delay, so there was always a pause, and it was aggravating. But yeah, I'm either about to draw this billet out about that long, or I'm going to make 2 billets. with my hot cut here. This heat in here got me missing home. See, I didn't do the boop. See, boop. Oh, I jinxed it. Yeah, see, I've got some kiss blocks mocked up, but I've been really throwing around the idea of building the ones that slip over the die, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it to where I can use them for the round dies and the squaring dies. I really don't want to make 2 sets of kiss blocks because I don't have any junk here, so I never appreciated how much junk and clutter I had until I moved. And I left all my junk in Florida at my old shop, which is all still there. I'm in Texas, so everything is like 15 hours away. So I don't have any junk, so I can't make anything on the fly anymore. I have to go buy material, and that's terrible. I don't like pinch pennies and stuff like that, but if I know for a fact I can build it for cheaper, I will not buy it. Like, I don't care. I don't know. I'm just like that, I guess. I grew up poor is what it was. I refused to go buy something that I know I can make. That's why I have tools. You know, you go spend $100,000 on tools so you don't have to go buy a $50 shelf. And that dirt on my forehead. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to these squaring dies, or flat dies, whatever they're called. I'm gonna buy a camera mount one day. my phone is sitting on like a 2x4 deal that's, like I said, Here, proof of concept, what I talked about earlier. This is my camera mount. It's got these cool little screws in it at different angles, and when I'm doing sideways stuff, and you know, cost me nothing. Or at one point it did, but this was all leftover stuff. But I'm gonna buy. I promise I'm gonna get me a camera mount one day, and I'll film more in here when I do, because this thing, it's a little sketchy. It's why my phone is busted actually. Alright, so we had a nice super hot heat. Brush. So I'm probably gonna re-square it one more time on the sides, and I'll turn the forge down. Because right now I'm doing everything at a forge welding heat, because I used flux earlier and I'm getting all that stuff cleaned up, and I'm brushing it and all that stuff, and trying to get that cable that's on the surface as clean as possible. So when I do go to grind it, I don't have to grind the cable all the way off just to get the clean material, because usually that's what you have to do when you work with cable, because it's nasty to begin with, and it's like 6,000 little bitty strands, and they all get to different temperatures, and the cable cools off on the outside way faster than a regular billet would be, because the strands are, you know, like a 32nd of an inch. So it's always, you're gonna have a lot of loss when you do cable Damascus. So T, I did a live stream when I was back in Florida, and I had this guy making fun of me because I was drinking my tea out of like the Alfredo. You get the Alfredo cheese or whatever for doing like pastas and stuff. And he was making fun of me because the jar still had the Classico or whatever it was on the jar, and he's like, "Are you drinking tea or whatever out of a pasta jar or whatever, seasoning jar, what's the sauce jar or whatever they're called?" And I was like, "Yeah, look, it's a glass jar. I'm not gonna throw it away. I got cups and stuff in there. It's just when I come out of the shop, I'm probably gonna break that cup eventually, you know. So why not? I paid $5 for that much cheese. I'm gonna keep the cup. It's glass. It has a lid. What's up?" Yeah, the cables, you never know what you're going to get. My experience, cable is a little bit above what we would call mild steel, because all steel has a carbon content. It's just, is it enough carbon in it to form carbides and transfer over to martensite during a heat treat? But you can, I mean, if it doesn't have carbon content in it, it's not steel. But yeah, the majority of the cables that I've worked with seem to be some sort of, I'll say low carbon, probably like 1040 or 1075, probably not even good as 1075, but like they got this coating on the outside that looks a lot like stainless. That's why you get that snake scale kind of pattern or whatever in them. But yeah, the cables, very rarely will you find one that's actually good hardenable steel. Most of my cable stuff, I've water quenched every one of them I've ever done. That's the only way I can ever get them to skate a file. And then when I temper them, I'll temper them at like 375, and then I'll try to skate a fire. Yeah, so I have a terrible opinion on forging fire. Like, so my thing, I know a bunch of people. I've met probably 70 people that have been on the show. A good friend of mine that lives around here was on the show, and at first it was cool, and then they had a couple episodes that were cool and stuff, but you can tell towards the end that they were putting people in there that didn't really know what they were doing, because it makes good TV. If you take 4 guys that know exactly what to do and they get in there and they just work, it doesn't make good TV. You have to have oopsies, and you have to have mistakes, and you have to have, you know, the curveballs they throw at them and stuff is going to cause drama, and that makes good television. But a lot of stuff on the show didn't really make sense, like the stuff they did and stuff like that or whatever. But if you want a knife like a kitchen knife or something, or like a hunting knife that's going to hold a really good edge or whatever, use known steel. It's cheap, it's easy to work with, and you know how to heat treat it because it tells you how to heat treat it because based off what steel it is. But if you want to do something cool out of reclaimed material or whatever, you're gonna have to figure it out. And the majority of the time, like when I do the cable and all that stuff, I will put a core in it of some sort, just because when I sell a knife, I don't want something like, oh, it's cable Damascus, or it's this, or it's made out of this, but it holds an edge like crap, you know. Like, I'd rather it be, it's made out of this, but it's also a good knife, because at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. I don't care what it looks like, fit and finish and stuff. I mean, it helps, you know, but when you're buying a tool, you want it to perform, you know? Turn that forge down. I think I want to go back to the drawing dies because it's still, it's about 3/8 thick right now. Should I go to the drawing dies, or should I just forge it from hand? Like, what do you think? Drawing dies? You want to pinch it in half real quick? I can't find my glove. My other glove. Over there behind the welder. Ooh, trip. Oh. Oh, should have never heard of her. We'll go back to the drawing dies, and I'm gonna have to be real careful. Real careful. But you know what they say? Knife makers don't make mistakes. Just make smaller knives. I'm finna make 2 little small ones. We're gonna make 1 regular one. I'm finna find out. Oh no, man! The only stuff I know about doing my chef knives and stuff is because I've talked to a bunch of people that do chef knives, and I've learned the hard way. I've done it. I've probably made. I'll put it to you like this: I got about 15 knives in my knife block in there that I've made every one of. Every one of the ones that I've kept, except for one, has a mistake in it, and those are the ones that were good enough to keep. I've got a shelf full of them in there, and I've given them away, and I busted the handles off of them, given to my boy for throwing knives and all kind of stuff. Turns out, a 7-inch chef is a phenomenal throwing knife. Go Gators, baby. Ooh. So, I don't see any new cracks. I shoved that glove right off into my high-speed low drag stand right here. Yeah, I couldn't, my glove was slipping on this thing, and I didn't over pinch it because I was scared to death, but I think we did all right. I think we'll be okay right here. Get rid of my hot cut dies. And burn my finger. And I'm gonna try to flatten it out one more time and see what we got. Because I can see the pattern coming through it. It looks really good. My core and everything is nice and straight thanks to that thing. So I'm going to basically get it to a bit like a flat billet that I can do a stock removal from, because I want to cut in my tip and all that stuff. I don't want to risk tearing it apart forging on it, which it probably won't, but I know for a fact it won't if I do a stock removal. So what I'll probably do is shape it to the shape of the knife I want, and then go back to drawing dies if I want to make it thinner, or I'll just forge it down or whatever. But I'm gonna just try to get a nice flat clean billet out of it. Tomorrow I go to grinder, clean everything off of it, and yeah, there you go. Let's go, man, let's go. So it's so looking real good. Edges look clean. I don't see any major D-labs and stuff like that. So well, it's warm in here. Let me do this. Maybe it'll stay. Probably drop the phone again. There we go. How about now? Good to go? Alright. Alright, cool. I turned the forge back up. I'm gonna let it soak for a second and get it good and hot, so that I've noticed that if you get it blistering hot, those dies, these flat dies, will actually take out those little divots. I'm gonna do a T-run. I'll be right back. good stuff right there. It's better than Gatorade. I don't care what anybody says. Alright, stick y'all right there. Try not to get my butt crack in the video. Should have been a plumber. Alright, cool. Glove at. Whew. Dang, it's hot. I got a 10 whole people in here. 10 whole people. I must be bored watching some hillbilly from Florida make, what are we gonna call this? Is it cable sand mine? Is that, I guess, what it is? Multi-bar cable twist sand mine Damascus. Oh man. But yeah. At this point, I'm just planishing. Really, I can't swing the hammer because I don't live out in the middle BFE no more. I have a neighbor that I could. I'm not gonna say flick a booger because it's. But yeah, I have probably 60 foot from me. I have a neighbor, which is awful. Neighbor's cool. Cable Taco. There you go. Taco de K-Bell, homie. So yeah, usually where I lived at before, my neighbors was a cow pasture, so I could forge whenever I wanted to and all that stuff, which I preferred to do all my grinding and forging at night because the humidity was worse at night there, but it wasn't, the building I was in wasn't in direct sunlight. I don't know if y'all ever been to Florida before, it don't cool off, so just don't tell anybody from Texas that. They'll pout and say Texas is hotter than, you know. Ain't that bad. It's nice and breezy here. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna make out of this. I didn't really have a knife planned. I was just like, I'll try it because I have a big old piece of cable there. I probably got about 30 foot of this cable I did. So I cut me about 5 or 6 inches of it off, twisted it, squared it up on the dies, and cleaned it off. And when I did it, when I put this billet together, I think it ended up being like right at 8 inches. I had my square and I cleaned off one side and the top, and then I cut it into 4 pieces and then just turned them and stuck them together. The bottoms of it was clean and then the outsides were still forge scale. I didn't clean it up because I knew I was going to do this and I was going to flux it and I was going to have loss, and I would rather the scale already be lost. It's going to be lost. So I just left it. And then I put my 15N20 and then that big thick piece of 1084 down the core of it. Jay, how far are you up there in Georgia? You're like South Georgia, or you're up like on the other side of? You're not like up like Atlanta or nothing like that, are you? You're like South Georgia, right? Oh, you're in Florida? I didn't know that. Hell yeah. That's what's up. How far is Liberty County from like Swanee County, Gilchrist, all that stuff, Dixie County, all that stuff? Liberty County, that ain't Central Florida. It's Central Florida? I don't remember, it ain't ringing a bell. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, so you're down there in the heat. Y'all's humidity got humidity. People really don't understand, like when I tell them, like, Florida is like walking into a laundromat that's got all the dryers running in the summer after you just got sprayed with a water hose. It's, the humidity is ridiculous. I didn't realize how bad it was until I came here and everybody's complaining about the humidity of Texas, and I'm like, this is amazing. What are you talking about? I ain't broke a sweat since I got here, unless I'm doing this. But you walk to the mailbox in Florida, you got to come back inside and change your shirt. Oh, okay. So you're out Panhandle, like West Florida. Okay. Cool. I didn't know that. I thought Bristol was. I'm thinking Bradenton. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Terrible Floridian. I've been out of the state for a year and I don't even know where Panama City and Tallahassee's at. Yeah, you're in the Panhandle. All right. Well, yeah, you wasn't probably but like 2 hours from where I was at. Here, okay. I'm gonna stick that right there. Shut that heater hole off. And take some peeksies at this thing. It looks good. I got a couple of divots in it and stuff still, but the thickness is nice and even. I don't see any weird like D-lams or nothing like that, which I welded the crap out of it to the best of my ability. I'm not a welder. I can weld, but I am not a welder. My uncle says I got gorilla welds. He said they ain't pretty, but they're strong. Which is really all I need in this line of work. Don't need to be perfect, it just gotta be permanent, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll let that stick there. Yeah, that's warm. When I first got here, they were telling me about the heat and all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, I know, it gets, you get like 110 and all that stuff here or whatever, but it's like 41% humidity with a 25-mile-an-hour breeze, and I'm like, that's a beach day. What you talking about? Yeah. While I got you in here, I want to show you this knife I was working on while I let this thing cool off before I come over here and run into it. Oh. So this thing, here, I'll hold the camera. This thing, I let do a 24-hour coffee etch. I got a little bit of brown stuff up there on the spine still, but Ted, don't let anybody here in Texas hear you say that, because they're going to swear up and down that Texas is the hottest, most humid place on the planet Earth, and it's worse and better than everywhere on the planet, and this and that. And paperclip and copper powder. I want to do the cable when the copper powder, and I don't know where to get. I'm going to have to message JB and see where he got it from. Yeah, I think it's slick. I like that one. I made 2 of them, and the one I didn't really care for the shape of, the guy that bought it today, that blue epoxy handle, and he loved it, and I was like, cool, because I want to keep that one. So I'm gonna most likely do another I burnt my damn mustache earlier, not sticking me in the mouth. I'm gonna do a handle kind of like that one, the blue one I did. It's black with the pearl and silver in the resin, and then the wood is the same, like spalted maple. So I got it over here. I can show you. So they, ow, yeah, buddy. These I got from AAO Customs. AAO Customs. I've been buying handle material from her for a long time. Probably the better part of 7 years I've been getting handle material from her. Never had an issue out of it. It's cheap. It's great material. She gives you a discount if you order more than once. Like, awesome. Awesome lady. Name's Angie Olson. Great people. Message her, hey, I got this idea, blah, 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 blah. She'll throw it together for you. No problems. If you're looking for cool handle material, they do, most of their stuff is like resin castings and about the half and half maple and stuff. The majority of the wood that she does is maple, but she gets like the spalted maples and the curly maples and all that stuff like that. So, good stuff. Never had any issues, never had any bubbles in it, never had any cracks in it. The wood's always been beautifully stabilized, like awesome stuff. Take it up to about a 400, 600, give or take. The resins I usually will take to like $1,000, but if you take it to like a 600 and buff it, it's like perfect. So Terry Dunn stuff like that too. His wood, you could hand sand Terry Dunn's handle material to like 320 and buff it, and it looks like it's 2000 grit. His stuff is amazing. Like his heat treat process is on point. He'll never tell you how he does it, but he's good at what he does. His handle material is like 45, 60 bucks, give around in that park area or whatever, but he's got some of the best stuff I've ever used. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let that billet cool off. Now I do got some spot welds in the middle of what'll be the flat, so I'm gonna clean it off on my ghetto surface grinder I got over here. And find that little spot weld. Hopefully it's all the way gone, because I ground the welds off before I put it in the forge, so they was just flush. So hopefully it's gone in the forge scale, but if it's not, I don't want that big spot of MIG right there in the center of those two cables. So the corners and all that stuff, the ends are going to come off, so I'm not so much worried about that. The edges and stuff will come off too. So I'm going to clean it up tomorrow. I'll probably 36 grit it, or angle, probably hit it with the angle grinder, get the forward scale off of it, hit it with a 36 grit, get it nice and flat, and then I'll probably go from 36 to my big rubber contact wheel over here and do like a 120 to where I can get a decent edge on it, and I'll shoot you some pictures of it and stuff. I'll shoot you some too. But yeah, I'm trying to talk Ted into doing more kitchen knives, because I need somebody else to do kitchen knives. That way we can kind of like, you know, develop our skill together, you know, because Ted does some cool work. He's over here talking crap like he don't do cool work. Like everything I've seen Ted do is perfect, you know. He's good. But yeah, I don't really have anybody out here that does kitchen knives, and I don't really know anybody. Like the only people that I talk to about doing kitchen knives is like Salem Straub, and I shoot Neil Kamimura messages on his YouTube all the time or whatever, but like their stuff is on a whole other level, so I can't be like, hey, check out this cool knife I did, you know. I ain't showing them nothing. But I've been watching a lot of mosaic builds and stuff like that, so this was actually me prepping myself, doing a 4-way multi, you know, forge welding direction, prepping myself for doing a mosaic. So my plan for the mosaic is going to be something simple. I'm going to do a really simple pattern. Probably do something with the stacking to get, you know, a darker contrast towards the bottom and a lighter contrast towards the top, and flip them around and do some cool stuff with it or whatever. But I want to do a mosaic. I've wanted to do a mosaic for a long time. I've been saying I was going to do a mosaic when I got a press, because I've been doing Damascus by hand for like 4 years. So when I finally got this press, I literally have made like 3 knives that are not Damascus. I've made more Damascus in the past 8 months than I've made in my life, like combined. So I'm kind of getting bored with it, so I want to do something different. I started doing the low layer stuff, and everybody likes the low layer stuff because it's real bold and, you know, has a cool pattern to it. And I like it too, because I can do one stack of 15 to 20 layers or whatever and draw it out to a 3-foot long bar and cut it up and make 3 knives out of it, and it works out great. So I like that if I don't have to do any restacking. So, but yeah, the why is somebody behind me? Yeah, the mosaic I want to do is really simple. I have a doodle of it somewhere over here, but I'll let you know how it goes. I'm sure I'll do a video on it. I'll make myself film it. I usually don't film my first attempt at stuff, because then when I get it wrong, instead of me going, hey guys, this is what I did and I got it wrong, you know, you got the YouTube mastersmiths to be like, you should have done this, and whatever, but they don't even own a hammer and they're trying to tell you what to do. And like, I don't feed into it, but it gets on my nerves because I know they don't know what they're talking about. But like, if somebody that knows what they're talking about, it's like, hey, blah, 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 this and that, this and that, and this and that, this, you know, whatever, here's some information, then you take it. But when you know the person has zero idea of what they're talking about, like, it drives me crazy, you know? A feather? You're gonna do the, it's a military challenge, ain't it? You're gonna do that? Yeah, I saw that video and I was like rolling it around because I've been wanting to do one for a long time. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I had never really done like challenges and stuff like that. And I had talked to somebody that was on the channel. I think it was Norwood. I think it was John Norwood from Old Hickory Forge. And I think I had talked to him about it. And he was doing, I think he was a judge or something like that on the one. And he was telling me basically like, you know, what he was going to do and all this stuff or whatever. And I had like thrown around the idea of doing it, but I think it was a sword or something like that they had to do. And I didn't really want to do a sword. But now that I've got a little bit more tooling and stuff, I have the press and I've got a couple more vices and stuff set up. I've got my portaband with the table on it for doing cutouts, and I got a little bit more kit, I guess, so it won't be as difficult, because tools don't make you better, it just makes it easier. So I might do it. I just don't know what I want to make. I mean, I don't want to do like something simple that everybody else, I want to do something cool. But from when I read about it, it said that it was like any military, any era or whatever. So I kind of want to do some research and try to find some cool like off weapon that somebody used back in the day or something like that. Like, I've always wanted to do a trench knife, like the World War trench knife, the knuckles thing. Hell yeah, that's what I ain't never done one. I've talked to the people and stuff, and you know, threw around the idea of doing it. And it ain't because I don't have any time or whatever, but like I've just never done it. But I think if I can come up with something cool and kind of get a decent build, I'd like to do it just for the sake of doing it. And I would like to, because I know that helps your channel grow, you know, greatly. And I don't do YouTube for the money. I don't make any money off of YouTube. I would just like to do it for the simple fact. I like the interaction and the feedback and stuff like that of doing the channel. Like, you got other people talking about, you know, popping in here and giving you comments. And I like interacting with people about knife making. That's really one of my favorite things about it. Because there's so many knife makers out there and everybody does stuff different and stuff. So yeah, that's how you learn. I've learned so much from just talking to people, picking up little tricks and tips and stuff here and there, you know, like let me see, I've made probably 25 different kind of sanding sticks. Yeah, I mean, I've got wood sanding sticks with leather on them. I have contoured sanding sticks. I've got metal sanding sticks that are round with a hard edge, and I've got the little chisel shaped sanding sticks and stuff for doing little stuff, and that stuff's helped me greatly with hand sanding and doing finish work and cleanup and all that stuff. So just little stuff like you see someone make, you know, using a tool or something in a different way or whatever, like that's my favorite part about it, is, you know, picking up tricks and tips and stuff like that. So but I don't care. Jay, shoot, you always got some wild shit you want me to do. Jay will be like, you should do a butterfly knife and make it 15 foot long and out of Damascus. I'm like, what the fuck? He don't never give me nothing easy, ever. He's always like, check this crazy thing I found. Da, 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 da. You should make that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't make that. He's got too much faith in me. He's like, here, make that. I'm like, I can't do that. I can barely pull off what I pull off. I just make it look good, you know. Fake it till you make it. But yeah, I think I wanna try to do this challenge. It's when it's what they haven't said when it starts or when it's done, when it's due or whatever. I know like 5 or 6 of the people that are doing it. I watched the video the other day. I was in there on the throne, my thinking pot, and I seen a couple people in there that I had talked to before, and that JB, is JB Knife Work, JB Blade, something like that. He's a kid with glasses, lives in South Florida. Yeah, yeah. He's like, you want a challenge? Climb Mount Everest. I'm like, what the hell? Ain't never nothing simple. But yeah, just started in August. All right, cool. All right. I don't know, man. Like I don't want to do something that's just expected, you know. Like I don't want to do like, oh, cool, they did this military challenge, and obviously they're going to do these, you know. I want to do something cool. Like I don't want to do nothing crazy. Like, you know, I don't want to get into building, you know, some $1,000 build, but I want to build something cool, you know. Who knows? I might win us a surface grinder, Ted. You might win me a surface grinder. Do that, do that. I need one something fierce, or a milling machine. Yeah, JB Knives, that's him. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I talked to him for a while, like when his channel first, he had like 50 subscribers and stuff, and I was watching his stuff, and I was like, man, this kid is like, he was only like, he was young. I think he was in his early 20s when he started making YouTube or whatever. But his like first couple videos, he was like, I'm gonna do ball bearing canister Damascus. I was like, nice. You know, I made 4 knives and I'm gonna do the art. Like, it was dope. And he does a lot of really cool canister ideas. He does like anything you can think of. Like he does all kind of cool canister builds and stuff like that. So, but I think his brother's also a knife maker or something like that. They got into it, and he's one of them people that just, you know, he ain't been making knives for very long, but he's really, really good because he's constantly, you know, pushing the envelope on, like, he never does the same knife twice. He's always, whatever he builds, he's gonna do something, you know, way better the next time. Or and a lot of the reason why I like his channel is he'll do a build or he'll do a video or whatever, and if it messes up, instead of him just scrapping the video and crap, he'll do like hey, I did this messed up, blah, 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 and he'll turn it around and do something with it. Like he's all, and I love that, because you don't never learn something. If you nail it your first try, I guarantee you the second time you're gonna do it, you're gonna mess it up. And if you do mess it up, that's pretty much where you're gonna learn the most from. If you nail it, you're not really gonna learn much. And if you know, you don't see anybody's mess ups, then you have to learn the hard way with everything you do. And he posts a lot of his mistakes and stuff like that he's learned along the way, and I like that, because I've messed up a lot of stuff too. So I try to do that in my videos and stuff, but I don't really film as much as I used to. I used to try to put out a video once a week on doing something, but here lately it's just, I can't really, like, the lighting in here sucks during the day because there's no clouds in Texas, there's no shade, there's no good lighting in here. I've got LED lights in here at night and the lighting's okay, but it ain't good for filming. Like when you try to film, it's dark spots and shadows everywhere. And because it's a garage, in my old shop, I had all my wiring above me so everything could hang and, you know, be from the ceiling, and I didn't have to worry about cords being everywhere and stuff. So it's kind of difficult in here to do it, but I'm gonna get it figured out. Because I want to film more. I really do. Like I really want to get on the, you know, the ball of doing builds. I have never, well, I did that little pipe tomahawk thing that everybody got mad at me or whatever, because I did a pipe tomahawk, and apparently I've pissed off an Indian reservation somewhere or whatever. Well, I made a Karen mad who claimed to be from a reservation, so I doubt that she was any remotely sort of native, but and I did a wrapped eye rasp tomahawk thing. But other than that, I've never really done axes or nothing like that. Yeah, one of them people. I actually met one of those people in real life one time. Right after we come to Texas, I bumped into a lady at a store, and, you know, I'm Southern, and excuse me, you know, da da da, and I went to go by her or whatever, and she's like, "What did you say to me?" And I guess she thought I said something. I think I said "ma'am" or something like that or whatever, and it just like flew off the handle at me. You don't call me ma'am, blah, 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 blah. You're trying to call me old and this and that, and da, 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 da. And I was like, and I just walked away like, whatever. I'm an adult. I ain't got time to argue with a 40-year-old woman, you know. So it was wow. Literally like how a 6-year-old throws herself on the floor screaming and crying. Like I watched an adult do that. So it was amazing. But yeah, I don't know what I want to do. I want to do something cool. There's really not a lot like edged weaponry you can do that's not obvious for military. Um, the first thing that came to mind was the trench knife. But if I do a trench knife, I'd like to cast the grip and guard and all that stuff one piece, which I don't have the means to do. I would have to get a crucible and do all that stuff and figure out a way to, you know, set my forge up, and it would just be a nightmare. Maybe like I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to do some research and kind of ramble around and try to find something like cool that's within my wheelhouse that I know I can pull off. Because whatever I decide to do, I'm gonna do like as extravagant and in depth as I possibly can. So I want to try to find something to where I won't be struggling just to pull it off. I want to be able to do it nice. Like that sword I did, it was just terrible. Not like it's not terrible. It's just I didn't go through the fit and finish process on it. I just built it to build, to learn the process of doing a sword and stuff like that. Because it's completely different than you expect. I've never done one before, and I've probably watched every sword making video on YouTube and hype myself up to do it, and it's nothing like you expect. If you've never done a sword before, it's a whole nother monster. It's not like a big knife at all. So, because I did that D-guard buoy, and I was like, oh yeah, how hard can it be? It's only like 10 inches long. No, not the same thing. So, but yeah, I don't know, maybe like a dagger or something like that. British Commando knife. What is that? Is that like little dagger thing, like a Quillian dagger or whatever? I don't know. I'll have to do some research. I'll have to get on. I have one knife. There's a knife coming back from the leather guy tomorrow. It ships tomorrow if it mail runs in time. I'll get it shipped off tomorrow, and I finished that chef yesterday. So I don't have anything on the board to do, so it's perfect timing. Be my luck, I'll start getting to doing this YouTube challenge build, and I will probably get 50 orders tomorrow, which would be awesome. Hopefully that happens. You know what I'm saying? But because this shit costs money. So, but yeah, I would like to do it. I really want to. Yeah, shoot me a picture of it. Whatever you find, Jay, shoot me some screenshots of it, and I'll get on the old Pinterest and start looking around. Pinterest, if you're not a Pinterest knife guy, if you don't look on Pinterest for knife making stuff, you are missing out. It is not just for recipes. I'm on Pinterest all the time, looking at everything from casseroles to kukris, and I love Pinterest. Everybody makes fun of me. Like, you have a Pinterest? Well, yeah, I'm a grown ass adult. I can do what I want. But yeah, I love Pinterest. There's all kind of cool ideas on there. I seen a guy. He did a, you know, the little. Where's my? I'm looking for it. I'm never gonna find it now. Here it is. So, you know, the bench knives or whatever. I've had this thing for a long time. This guy built one of these, but the handle and stuff of it was flipped around, and it was essentially a friction folder, but it was like a slip joint where the spring and everything was built in the handle, and then he pinned a blade into it, and that was like one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in my life. And I've always been like, oh yeah, I could do that, but then I've made a few slip joints, and that dude's good, because I'm talking, it was forged to shape. There was no grinding. It was all nice, you know, but it was really, really cool. Most of the sword builds and stuff that I found were from Pinterest, like seeing, I bought that Records of the Medieval Sword book or whatever. It has a bunch of really good information in it too. Yeah, that's what you should do, Ted. Do you a sword, do a cavalry saber,
be a big old ornate officer's sword or something like that. Could you do like a Viking sword? Technically, Vikings were a military, you know, Scandinavian military or whatever of the day, the rebels of the Scandinavian era. I don't know. You could do, I guess if it's military from any era, you could really do like anything, right? I mean, so, which the further back you go, the more and more likely it's going to be a sword, other than like daggers and stuff like that. What about those like damn? They were like a short sword, really. It was basically like a, you know, a good sized dagger that like you see all of the princes and stuff in the movies or whatever they pull and kill somebody with. It looks like a sword, but it's only like that long. Something like that, you know. You do something like that. I can't get the trench knife out of my head. I want to build one so bad. No, it's not pre-recorded. I don't know, man. Ted, whatever you decide to do, I'll support you wholeheartedly. But I think you should do a sword. You got this, man. You can do Damascus. You can make a sword. It's not that hard. It's just time. The more time you put into it, and really, honestly, I built that sword in a day. It's really not that hard. Like, I started with a piece of leaf spring that was about 14 inches long, and yeah, and I drew it out in the press, ground the fuller in, hot fit the guard. The pommel was a piece of PTO shaft that I mushed under the press, drilled a hole in it, tapped it, called it a day. I seen it. I haven't looked at the picture yet, but I got the message. So I'm gonna try to brainstorm on that. But yeah, I'm gonna probably go to bed here soon. It's about 11:45. I'm about ready for a beer. So, but yeah, Jay, Ted, I'll holler at y'all later on. Everybody else that popped in, appreciate y'all. Giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway. We're doing canister Damascus billet. If you're a knife maker, if you want the billet, if you want a knife, I'll make a knife and send it to you if you win. We're gonna do the giveaway probably like next week, like next Wednesday or something like that. I'm trying to get more people in there right now. There's only probably about 35 people in it so far, and I would like to get more people out there, because the more people that are out there, the more ideas I'll have to have. Jay said he wants a chef knife. He's gonna quit on me, talking about he wanted a billet. I was excited, and now he's got some stuff to do. So I should send you a chef knife and send your ass a billet just field dressed any game. Absolutely. I've test drove quite a few. The fat belly skinner that I did, I call my production shape. Yeah, I've used quite a few of my knives. Most of my kitchen knives I use, if I do a different shape or a different steel or something like that, I'll make one, keep that, use it or whatever. But yeah, I test all my knives. They all work quite well. I have a bunch of my friends that are avid hunters and fishing and all that stuff like that, and they use them all the time. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hop off here, y'all. I appreciate you. If you want to be in on the giveaway, there's a short. Find it, comment on there, say you're in, let me know what you want, whatever. Be subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna try to limit it to that one short, so that I don't have to go through 10 or 15 different videos and stuff like that, and hunt everybody down and miss somebody and all that stuff. Yeah, surgery. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta take care of your health, 100%. So. But I hope you get the kitchen knife, Jay. You've been after one for a long ass time. You about ready for one anyway. All right, Mr. Ted. Appreciate y'all. So here's our cable San Mai. Y'all have a good night. It's been real.